everyone. There we go. Woo. Thank you for staying. Also, thank you to those of you who were brave and sat like from the half up, because for a moment, everyone was in the back. I thought we were going to do a whole meeting with everybody in the back section. So, thank you for being here. I know this is taking time out of your Sunday, but we have some important business to take care of, and we want to update you on what's going on in our ministry. So we'll officially call this meeting to order at 12:15 p.m. and we will ask Sue to do an opening prayer for us. And I will
hold this.
She's doing double duty as a live videographer this morning.
Sure. Oh, I didn't know you were recording.
I'm just recording for records, not live streaming.
Okay, we're live streaming. Okay. Okay, let's just take a moment and, just first, be in such gratitude. We are just so grateful for this ministry, for Unity of Springfield, and for everyone who has come before us throughout all of these decades that have loved this ministry so much that they have given up their time, talent, treasure to bring us to where we are today. And we are grateful that we get to join together as this collective energy of Unity of Springfield to come together to celebrate the wonderful things that have happened throughout this past year, and to talk about new board members, and to talk about plans for the future. We are just so blessed. We are so grateful. We are grateful for our amazing leadership that we have in our board of directors currently, in our staff, in our volunteers, everybody who has such a part of making Unity of Springfield what it is. And for this, we just say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. And
Amen.
Thank you, Sue. So we always begin with the election of the board members, and I'll read from you section 4-03A from our bylaws. The qualifications for a board member. Any person elected to the Board of Trustees must be an active member of Unity of Springfield. He or she shall be a person who desires to serve on the board, endeavors to live in accord with the principles of truth as taught by Unity, furthers the work of this ministry through his or her regular attendance, love, and financial support, is a sincere and continuing student of Unity, conversant with its teachings, and has demonstrated leadership capabilities. So today we have 3 board members will be elected. Myself, I am rerunning. Mitch Brashears is running again for re-election. We also have Richard Siegler and Stella Wilbur on the ballot. And at this time, I will open the floor to any additional nominations. We don't do that when we have enough? Okay. Are you sure? Okay. It was still on my paper. So, all right. We will give every one of those individuals about 3 minutes to come up and share their heart about why they would like to be on the board. And I'll just make it easy. I'm already up here. I'll just start. So, I have been serving as your president on the board for the last term, and I will tell you, we've done some really tough stuff. We've done some really fun stuff, and I always say it's one of those hard jobs that you can't help but love. And so I would say to you, I have such a passion for this ministry. I love Unity of Springfield. I love each and every one of you. I hold such a vision for where we hope to be as we move forward and we just continue to grow. And I have loved every second of getting to be a part of that energy. And I hope that you would allow me to continue to be part of that energy moving forward. So I humbly request to be reelected onto your board of directors this term. And do you want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next.
3 minutes, Mitch. 3 minutes.
I'd like to take my 3 minutes to encourage you to vote for Amy Burnett. I'm not joking on this. I really didn't. I was filling for the board, right? I took over Dan DeCarlo's spot. And boards carry, my wife was on the board for a couple of years around, and boards aren't always my thing. Amy made this church board so good, and she is so fantastic with it. So
Yeah.
you can vote for me if you want to. You don't have to vote for me. I just want to say vote for Amy Burnett because she is fantastic. And she makes these things just, she makes it so better. She can handle the church. Yep. Yeah, she in the back. No. Who's next?
Mitch.
Richard? Yes.
Do you even want the job?
What's that?
Do you want the damn job?
It's not a job. It's a volunteer position.
Do you want it?
Do I want what?
You want to be on the board?
I'm happy to serve.
Okay.
Mitch does a great job. Mitch is a real asset.
Half right. So is it?
Where's the best barbecue in town?
Best barbecue in town is that based in what's it called? What were you, Carrie?
Getting basted?
Getting based. Oh my gosh, that was the best barbecue in town, hands down. Right over in Glenstone. We're all meeting there afterwards. You sure can. Leave your shoes on though.
Hi, I'm Stella Wolver. I'm here to introduce myself. Whoops. I'm not a public speaker. I'm a wonderful guy.
Put your microphone up to your mouth.
Okay, anyway, I'm Stella Wolver, and I'm up here to introduce myself because I have submitted my application to be a member of the board. I have 3 years, approximately 3 years in Unity Church here in Springfield. But all my experience goes back to California. I was a member and dedicated to Unity Church for 37 years in Riverside and Santa Rosa, California. I walked into a Unity Church in 1985 and I never left. It totally changed my life. Before that, I had a basic religion of God, of judgment and of fear, but through Unity, I learned unconditional love. It was not an easy process to let go that I was not worthy to stand up and have God love me. It took many years of prayer and meditation, volunteer work, and my devotion and classes. What I would like to say is, I feel that God has sent me here to Springfield to be in this church. It was not an easy process. I left and then came back. But it's been a wonderful process. I think I could bring to the board all my positive energy, my love for Unity, and all my education and inspiration. I would like to say in closing, and it's pretty dynamic, I, Stella Wolver, promise to embellish my wisdom, passion, knowledge, and to lead the Springfield Unity Church and service each member of this church and people that attend this church with God's guidance. Thank you.
Now, Richard Sigler.
Well, I've been going here forever. There's a lot of faces out there. Most of you probably know me from playing guitar. I was on the board in '07, and we had just hired Sue. Things were booming, and our biggest problem was finding parking spots for everybody. People parking on the grass. We talked to Brickwood Library about using their parking lots and shuttling people back and forth. And I believe we can get back to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, geez, Lord, it's done.
Okay, so those are your nominees. Everyone should have, members should have a ballot that you can now use to vote. And Dee, how are we collecting those?
I'll go get a basket, but does everybody that is a voting?
Does anyone need a ballot that does not currently have one? Kat needs one in the back.
Oh, Kat, I can't see you from here.
Simone, how many people do we go for?
3.
And so remember, you're voting for 3 board members.
3 right there.
Each term, 3 board members expire, so that there's always a majority of experience stays on the board, and then we add some new candidates each term. That sounded much smarter in my head.
It made sense.
Wow, very weird. Okay. As Brandy's collecting the votes and they're being counted, I'll just take a moment. In this moment, we know that we are saying goodbye to Paula on the board. So Paula Armconnect has been serving on your board of directors for the past 8 years.
Yes.
And she has been steadfast. She has been just such a wonderful presence on the board. If you don't know Paula, get to know Paula, because she's an amazing human being. And she has made every decision with such thought and care, and she has not been afraid to speak up when something was not sitting right with center, and she brought wisdom and just so much to the compilation of the board. And I just can't say thank you enough, Paula, for your time, and I hope that everyone will join me in not letting her get out of this building today without giving her a hearty thank you. I'm not sure how much more time we need here. Let's go ahead and move on to the discussion of the minutes from last annual meeting. John is prepared to share with you the notes from last year's annual meeting, and that should give us time to get ballots counted.
Good afternoon. So it starts with Amy Burnett called the annual meeting to order at 12:29 on January 24th, 2021. Sue Baggett Day gave the blessing. Amy Burnett introduced herself, explaining the voting process to those present and those participating by Zoom. She reviewed the qualifications to serve on the board. She introduced the candidates and asked if there were any further nominations from the floor. Hearing none, the candidates each spoke briefly. Those individuals were Karen Crago, Beth DeLange, Joseph Babbitt, and Kat Tresco. Amy Burnett again reviewed the voting procedure, and the ballots must be received by January 30th in order for results to be announced on January 31st. Dee Richardson passed out ballots to anyone needing one. Amy Burnett thanked the outgoing board members, Mary Hilsbeck-Huber, Simone Height, and John Merrifield. Amy Burnett explained the lack of minutes from 2020. Simone Height presented the treasurer's report. In thanks to an increase in donations and the PPE loans, in spite of not having traditional fundraisers, Unity finished the year in the black. Simone encourages weekly or monthly giving via the apps. Our total budget was $203,606. Without the PPE, we brought in $183,213.56. and the PPE brought in $27,200, resulting in $66.64 in the black. Amy Burnett reminded the congregation that the financial statement is always available for viewing to the congregants. Also, she invited the congregation to attend board meetings and to add items to the board agenda. Dee Richardson reported that roughly $4,000 a week is what we need to cover our overhead to meet our budget for the year. Year in review, Amy Burnett mentioned that this is the portion of the meeting for the usual letter that Dee Richardson presents for the year in review and recapped as follows. Services were moved to online. Paul Day began facilitating adult ed. Rachel Willis provided opportunities for the children to participate via Facebook Live. Dee Richardson and Michelle Johnson supported the ministry working from home. The outdoor free library was converted to a food pantry. There was an outdoor sale and a 5K just slightly past Earth Day. There was an outdoor concert, and the church got a new roof, and there were repairs to Teen House, both covered by insurance. The interior was painted. Equipment was upgraded to improve the live streaming experience, part of which was funded by a matching grant. Candlelight and burning bowl were held. Church began to be hybrid. Lisa Landrigan built a new ramp outside. Jessica Quinn did Zoom with Uniteens and became the team director. John Russ became the music director. James Masters stepped up to take over the social media communication elements. Dee Richardson introduced church staff and they gave a brief overview. John Russ thanked the volunteer band and singers, blessed to have a lot of talent in the church and that people are willing to step up and share theirs. Lisa Landrigan pointed out that there are always volunteers working behind the scenes. Feel free to reach out to her. Rachel Willis reported on teaching online. Every Sunday she tunes in and to be directed to find the message that will fall on the kids' hearts. Reported on the efforts of Alice Merrifield and her in putting some muscle and loving thought into their lesson plans. Jessica Quinn reported on her new job and that it has always been a dream of hers. Focuses on the principles becoming a core foundation. She tries to focus on what they want to learn more about. Expressed her goals for the teen program. Old business. Amy Burnett reminded the congregation that Unity was cooperating with various phases of the City of Springfield's reopening plans. New business. Reverend Pat McClellan complimented Sue and the rest of the leadership team based upon the information conveyed during the annual meeting. Best minister in the field with an equally stellar supporting cast. Sue Day thanked everyone and set an intention of getting outside of the doors. There is a real call in the community to help with the homeless population. Also recognized our commitment to Planet Unity and to supporting LGBTQ population. Sue Day thanked the current board with special thanks to Amy Burnett. Thanks staff and volunteers. Amy Burnett called for any further comments from the congregation and on Zoom. Debbie, via Zoom, thanked the church for offering the hybrid option. Amy Burnett reiterated the commitment to maintaining connection with our congregation near and far. Adjournment at 1:37, followed by a prayer by Sue.
All right, thank you, John. That might be the most times I have heard my name said out loud in the last year. That was a lot. Okay, Dee, are we?
We need to approve the minutes.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the minutes from the last annual meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting as is.
Okay, motion from Simone, second from Mary. Look at those past board members chiming in. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? And motion carries. Our minutes are approved. Dee, are we at completion with the vote? So the results of our vote today are the members that will be on the board of directors for the next 3 years are myself.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Mitch Brashears
Yay.
and Richard Sigler.
Yay.
Okay, so now we need to move on to the reading of the treasurer's report. Well, for those of you who don't know Joseph Babbitt, Joseph has been acting as our treasurer, and we are very grateful that he has a mind for numbers.
We are blessed with Joseph Babbitt.
Yes.
Howdy, my name's Joseph. And like my presentation in December, we had a really good year. It ended up really strong. We had a income of $218,000 for the year, and we ended up $30,000 in the black after all the expenses. So we're good for that, and let's hope for another big, strong year. Whenever we went through our budget, we all spent a good, strong day going through everything, and we were anticipating $222,000 for this year, and we were hoping for another year in the black. And so our plan is that we'll have at least $2,000 to the good, and that is our plan for 2022.
So Joseph, would you stay here? Does anyone have any specific questions about the financials that we can answer for you? Jessica?
Are we allowed to ask what is approved for different budgets within the church for like different groups? Like adult classes, youth ed, is that readily available?
So the financial statement is available to any member of Unity of Springfield. It is our ministry, it is our budget. So at any time that anyone wants to review those financial statements, you can always ask Dee for a copy. We don't make a bunch of copies and leave them laying around just because they tend to sit there or end up in the landfill. So if you are curious about that though, and you have a specific question, absolutely. And I will say that in this year's budget, we tried to sit in principle and anticipate the abundance that's coming our way. And so we looked at things where we had not put money in the past couple of years. That doesn't make sense if we want a robust, for example, if we want a robust youth and junior Sunday school program, then we can't have $0 in there for supplies for those classes. They have to be able to purchase some things to have activities for the kids to do. So those were some things. Now, you know, we are, even in our abundance consciousness, we try to be, I don't want to use the word conservative, but we try to be realistic. We don't want it, we stretch ourselves, but not to the point of breaking. And so we want to sit into that and say, okay, this year, this is what we're adding, and then we just hope to be able to add, more and more as we go through. We stepped into that abundance consciousness as well with some increases in salary. Again, small, but they're there because we want to trust that we can take care of our staff here at Unity of Springfield, as well as all of the programs. And so that is something, and I'll just go ahead and share, Joseph. I didn't know, I was gonna let it be his thunder if he wanted it to be, but, so I'm gonna tell you, Monday night we finalized this budget plan and we had this really robust conversation about what we were doing with the financials and, making sure that everyone was sitting centered with it. And I'll tell you, it was a stretch, and there was so much principle in that room, and there was so much trust in that room, and everyone left the meeting feeling like it was exactly what we needed to be doing. And I'll tell you, I've been on the board for a long time at this point, And we have had more stress over smaller amounts of money than we had on Monday night. And there was just such a peace about it. And I'm gonna try not to cry. And it was on Wednesday, that I was sitting at work and I had a message from Dee, and she asked me to give her a call, which is really unusual because Dee tries not to pull me away from work. She usually sends me a message that says, I need to talk to you when you have a chance, or tonight, or just whenever. And this was a, hey, are you at a place where you can call me? And so I will admit, my first thought was, oh no, what's wrong that she needs me immediately? And I made the call, and what Dee was busting at the seams to tell me is that our beloved Tom Long saw fit to take care of this ministry, and he has left us a sizable bequest. And I have goosebumps right now, and I feel you, Tom. And I sent a message out to the board, and I will tell you, in that moment, I knew why we had such peace leaving that meeting, because he already had us. He was already holding us. It was already, the wheels were in motion. And so I just ask, please be involved. Please, if you want to see the financials, but also know that there is a huge amount of principle and trust and all of that going in, and I feel like we are getting signs that we are on exactly the right path.
Yes.
And a collective, thank you, Tom.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
He loved this ministry so much, and we love Tom so much, and I will tell you, it honestly, it shouldn't have entered my mind that he would do something like that, but it had not even entered my mind when we were having these conversations. And so feeling that just support, and I told the rest of the board it was just like his time on the board, or if any of you, those of you who knew Tom well, on the board, he would sit there and we would discuss things, and we would be hammering things out, and everybody would be sharing their opinions, and it would go on and on and on. And then all of a sudden, Tom would look like he was going to say something, and we would all get quiet and look at Tom, and he would say, well, as I see it. And then something just utterly beautiful would come out of his mouth, something that summed it all up, or put it right to center, or made everyone click into knowing how they felt about things. And so he didn't always say a lot, but when he said something, we all listened, and it was thoughtful, and it was beautiful, and it was full of love for everyone in this church. So that's beautiful. Okay, so we need to accept the financials.
I make a motion to accept the financials as presented.
Okay, John Brocker motions, Mitch seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, the motion carries. All right, trying to get my emotions back in order there. I cried like a baby in my office that day, by the way, too. Had to shut my door so no one thought I was having a breakdown. Okay, so we'll move on to highlighting the activities from this past year. And I don't know about you guys, but as John was reading those minutes and even what we did while we weren't having in-person services, I'm always amazed when we read through the activities that we've accomplished. So we began 2021 with the Whitestone ceremony, and later in the month, the annual meeting electing Karen Crago, Joseph Babbitt, and Kat Presco to the board. Registration to attend the service in person continued due to COVID protocols. A Unity of Springfield Instagram account was established. In February, Kat Presco started a group on Zoom for LGBTQIA and allies, which later met and held a cookout, showed a movie, conducted a book study, and hosted a pre-Thanksgiving dinner. March produced a grounds cleanup day and began collecting tennis shoes for Rare Breed. Sue held a credit class, Life of Prayer on Zoom in April and May. An Easter egg hunt was held for the children. June 5th brought a cornhole and karaoke event and a yard sale on June 11th and 12th. In June, Wendy Frederickson donated a beautiful quilt to be raffled. And again in December, Wendy donated 3 quilts to be raffled, with the funds being used to help support our cold weather shelter. The New Thought World Religion class was on Facebook and began to also meet in Fellowship Hall again in June. The dedicated group of Amy Burnett, Paul Day, James Masters, John Brocker, Teresa Mezqua, Karen Crago, Paula Armknecht, Sue Baggett Day, Reverends Les and Pat McClellan, Mary Elizabeth Huber, and Don Frederickson presented topics throughout the year. In mid-year, the women-only Al-Anon Tuesday morning book club, Saturday evening Al-Anon, and Abraham resumed meeting in our building. Guest speakers during the year were Reverend Pat McClellan and Dee Richardson. In the fall, the luau was held, a trip to tour Unity Village was made, new member orientation and welcoming ceremony, socks collected for the connecting grounds, prayer service in conjunction with Unity's World Day of Prayer. James Masters led a workshop to create the background and affirmations for a set of affirmation cards that is being used as a fundraiser. A compassionate care team was formed and led by Stella Wilbur. A 5K and indoor yard sale took place October 2nd. Weaving mats out of plastic bags was taught, then met weekly, and were being donated for the unsheltered. The fall boutique, grounds cleanup, spooktruncular, and a talent show filled the fall. The Friendsgiving potluck welcomed 40 guests this year. Winter arrived and grief support group began in December. The candlelight service was held, and the Christmas potluck had 30+ attendees. Unity in the community has been fully activated with our becoming a crisis cold weather shelter. We are cleared for 20 people, and the volunteers and donations have been amazing. The guests have been grateful for our warmth, both in heat and the surroundings and hospitality. What a full year. And I think we need to point out, Dee pointed it out in an email after reading through the minutes last year, that there were several comments. Sue made some comments, I believe Karen Crago made some comments, there was some other discussion at last year's annual meeting about this idea of expanding outside of our goals and doing something, and the homeless population kept coming up in different conversations as a marginalized group, and then look where we are a year later. So, way to manifest that Unity of Springfield. In the reading of the minutes, I didn't see any old business. And we have nothing, no new business. There's no radical changes or bylaw changes or anything like that we're presenting today. So this is the part of our meeting where we will just open it up for discussion. So is there anything on your heart that you want to discuss?
I just want to say a extra special thank you to everybody that put time in, and especially Lisa, for the homeless shelter. If you've not worked it yet, guys, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Because the gratitude is an abundance. And if you think you have no place in this world, volunteer one time during this year.
Yeah.
And you will. And I know a lot of you are not out. A lot of you are donating through map making and donations of coats and products and even money. And every bit of that, it takes every little bit. But I just wanted to give a special thank you to Lisa, because
Yes.
she pours her heart out, and she's available all the time, even for people like me that have a crisis that comes up in the middle of her vacation. and 20 people, that's it. We have so much more to give.
We are officially approved for 20 people.
Like 29 last night.
You don't want to put all that on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're officially approved for 20 people in Fellowship Hall. We sometimes have
Stretch. We're
things in the
stretchers.
hallway. Yes, we're
We
stretching
expand.
out a little bit. There's a, when all of the other shelters are full and the only option is outside in the cold, we show up as Unity of Springfield.
We're outside of those.
Cap?
I can yell.
Well, we need it on the thing though, to hear. Thank you.
Sorry, is it ready?
I just kind of wanted to clarify, maybe ask for everyone to be meditating and praying, whatever source you use for our next children's position,
Yes.
leadership position, and just kind of wanted to ask where we're at with that, if we know or have an update.
So we discuss this at every single board meeting, and we are holding a vision for the exact right person to walk through the door. At this time, we have not had candidates who are interested in being our junior Sunday school director. So if you know someone, please encourage them to apply, and we would love to see that person stepping in, because part of our robust vision for this ministry is that we just have a children's wing full of little ones, middle ones, big ones, all of them. All the kids are back there, and we know that that's what people are looking for, because we're all part of groups on Facebook and other places where people are talking about finding a church home, and often one of the asks is somewhere with a robust children's program. So that is where we're putting some energy focus. We'll be going into board retreat in February, and we'll have a good conversation about that as well.
And if there's ideas on where we could reach out to even drop somebody in,
Yes, so Sue is saying if we have ideas of where to find that person, please share them.
I'd like to apply for that position.
Oh, hello.
Please see Dee in the office for an application.
Well, I'm uncertain what age group you're looking at, needing people for.
Hello.
Kids.
It's the junior Sunday school. So Jessica takes over at age 12, right? 12 to 18?
6th grade through 12th grade.
Okay.
As long as you're qualified for 6th grade, you're on.
So we're looking at the ones under 6th grade. That's what we're looking for.
So I just want to say, for when we are looking for applicants for the youth and Sunday school, it is a big need. We are happy to have the ability for the teens to help out with the little kids currently. We've kind of made it a big group environment where the teens help play with the little kids, help do games with them, and we usually try to do an activity to kind of get them all involved. And I would like to also see a permanent nursery person so that Bella can be a part of our teen group.
Yes.
Yes. Can I just say our goal is to where should I put that? Our goal is to get the teens back to being the teens and not working with the little kids, and so we're excited. Thank you for raising your hand on that, Diana. Dee's got a.
All right. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Don't come back here, you can repeat what I'm saying. It is a paid part-time position.
We just wanted you to parade the jersey up.
Mahomes, man,
So Dee is saying it is a paid part-time position.
Why can't I go back
here
down
at Unity of Springfield. Okay. We have other discussion? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Forgive me for not being fully on my game today. So I had asked Jessica and Lisa to both give updates. We'll go ahead and let them, if something just comes up, we'll give one last opportunity before we close out the meeting today. But Jessica, if you want to go ahead and come up and give kind of an update and share with us what has been going on with our youth at Unity this year.
Hi, everybody. So I've had the honor to be the team director for the last year.
Yay, Jessica!
It is my dream, still is my dream, always will be, I have a feeling, because I've never left. So we have about 4 or 5 teens that are currently involved that come pretty regularly. We've had some, vacations since COVID has kind of lifted a little bit. We've had some people out sick. But we have some teens that are really excited and happy to be a part and wanting to do something more than just coming and enjoying a lesson on Sunday. So they kind of want to get more involved with fundraising again. So we were kind of brainstorming different ideas, what worked well, what they like to do, what might be an interest for all of you guys to help support us, so that we have an opportunity to go to rallies. I could preach about rallies for hours, but it really is a big turning point when
Yes.
a teen gets to go to a rally, experience other youth their age that just get to express unity around each other for a whole weekend, dive into a theme and learn more about it, and have friends that they go to other rallies with, and that they can keep in contact with just outside of rally, saying, oh, I need support, can I text you, I'm really nervous about this speech, can I get your advice? They have a support system built. So, I think it's really important that we put a focus on the youth and getting them excited and able to grow in rallies and leading their own lessons and maybe somehow leading or participating in a church service like we used to do ushering on 5th Sundays. Kind of get more involved so you guys know what we're about and they get to see you guys.
Yep, sounds great.
So our proposed fundraiser for February, we'd like to do a hot cocoa bar.
Cool.
So we will have a cup of hot cocoa and you can add a bunch of toppings to share around. We thought that would be good to do right before Valentine's Day, February 13th, kind of in the winter spirit. Now I have proposed dates for the upcoming rallies of this year. There's 2 big rallies coming up. One is Legacy, which is our main summer rally that everybody goes to through the whole Midwest region, which covers 13 states. So it's usually pretty big. Last year it was a little small because of COVID. We're expecting a little smaller this year. We're still trying to get back in the swing of things. It will be at a college campus, so we'll be staying in dorm rooms. We'll have showers available and food. It'll be, not too far away. It's just in Oklahoma. It is the 3rd week in June, I believe, June 15th through 19th. So we'll be fundraising and asking for support with that. And then we have International Youth of Unity Rally. So that's where we get to spend a full week up at Unity Village with people from all over the world.
Wow.
People have flown in from Africa, one came from Australia, a couple came from Italy one time. So it's a big, big deal. Everybody loves it and everybody likes to come together and see everybody how their Unity church gets to do it. Just because you go to Unity doesn't mean it's always, the same. We each have our own little cute quirks and stuff. So the youth are really excited. We would love to get to go to both of those rallies if available.
Yeah.
To kind of get our name out there. Unity's Springfield, we're supporting the Unity movement. And potential in the future, we would like to host a rally here. Maybe in the fall or next winter, maybe when we have more staff involved, adult volunteers that can help coordinate. And so we are very excited and I'm very glad to be here.
Woohoo! Nicely done. Good job.
Can you tell them how much it takes to put a person to rally, so they know what we're looking at?
Yes, so for Legacy Rally, it's usually about $175, $200 a person. So what you get with that is 5 days worth of involvement. It pays for all meals, pays for wherever we're staying. So this year it will be on a college campus. It helps pay for that. and it helps cover all the different activities while we're there. So it's a pretty big deal. And then the Unity Village one at the Village IYOU is, I have to get confirmed on pricing. When I went, it was $500 a person. But it is including, you get to stay at the Unity Village Hotel, and their dining, food is provided for the full week. I think it might be going up in price this year. Since they've done a lot of remodeling, I think it's been made a little bit higher. So we're shooting for about $600, $650 a person. So as much as we can fundraise, as much as we can get support from you guys, it kind of helps the parents, not have to pay so much for their teens. So they all get a chance to experience it.
Cool. Thank you.
And then we do also, for those teens who are wishing to attend Rally, there is an expectation that they're participating in our Unity of Springfield events, that they're attending regularly, and that they are part of that fundraising effort. So everyone knows they have a part that is theirs to do as well. All right, so we'll let Lisa talk about volunteer opportunities, and I'll just full disclosure, sometimes when your wife is the board president, she says things like, oh yeah, I'll tell her that we need her to do that, and then I forget. And so Lisa's had about 15 minutes to know that she was gonna be up here and talk to you guys today, so hopefully she gathered some thoughts.
Sorry.
All right. So I am the volunteer coordinator. So I'm the person that's always asking you to do something. And there are a lot of different ways to get involved in different things here at Unity. The most immediate is right after this meeting, we'll be setting up the shelter for tonight because we are going to be open tonight. So if anybody can stay, help with that, because I know we all want to get home by 2 to watch the Chiefs game, right?
Yes.
So if we could all stay and set the shelter up, it will only take about 10 minutes probably, so I appreciate that. Speaking of the shelter, there's ways for everybody to get involved. Simone talked about that some. You can actually come and do hands-on volunteering. There's different shifts there also with the hospitality in the evening, staying overnight, or just doing sanitation or the laundry run in the morning. So if you haven't gotten involved with that, we're over halfway through our cold weather season, so we still have a good month probably of being open pretty regularly, and then we'll probably start waning out kind of like we came in. We'll be open less and less, but it's been a great experience. I think, like Simone said, if you've been here, you've been blessed. Our guests are very grateful, so there's still time if you want to get involved. But if you don't want to be here to volunteer in person, maybe that's not your thing, the donations are amazing. The guests get something every time they come, so we're meeting needs. We're meeting, critical needs in our community. So I'm so grateful to everybody. The volunteer hours that have been put into this shelter, if I went and added them all up, I don't even know how many it would be. It's amazing, and you guys are great. In addition to that, the other big thing we have getting ready to start, which we have started with our first meeting, is Planet Unity. It's another big thing that we do, our big event. There's ways for everybody to get involved there also. I won't go into all of those because the 2 o'clock thing that we call it. Anyway, so if you have any questions about Planet Unity, we have another meeting next Sunday right after service. Stay and get some information and learn about that, and we'll just keep on planning that and see our biggest event yet with this year's Planet Unity. So that's about all I got.
Thank you, Lisa.
The favorite shelter.
Yes, Simone is wanting me to tell you that based on reviews given by our guests, Unity of Springfield is the preferred shelter for most of the unsheltered who are seeking shelter. And things that they mentioned, they say, it's so cozy in here. The people are so nice. The energy in this place is amazing. These are the kinds of things that they are saying. They are so grateful that We put snacks out and we don't say you can only have one thing, we say take what you need. And they do, and they get some sustenance while they're here, both in their bodies and in their souls, I believe. And we've had a few of our unsheltered that they've started asking questions about the Unity message, and that's not our job to do that during the shelter. But if people are asking questions, of course, we're not going to say, I'm not going to talk to you about that. So we do express that, but there's a genuine curiosity about who we are as a church because of how they feel when they're here, and I think that's the best calling card we can have.
Yep.
As a ministry. And then it's getting out, Lisa just shared with me yesterday a message from a volunteer from another church that had heard we needed volunteers, came and volunteered, and then he had copied her on a message that he was sending to his pastor saying, yes, please continue to ask for volunteers for this project. You would be amazed if you would go check it out. These are good people doing a good thing, and everyone, it's so needed. So please continue to ask on Sundays for volunteers to help them out. And so that's the kind of ripples that we're seeing from that project, and it's amazing. And yes, and I know she's my wife, but I just have to say, Lisa, like, if we tallied up the volunteer hours of each individual in this congregation at this moment, I think people would be shocked at how much time you spend here.
Yes.
And she does it completely out of love for this ministry.
Yeah, she does.
She hates being put on the spot and being appreciated in that way, and yet it just must be done.
Yes, thank you. Woo-hoo!
Do we have did anyone think of anything else that they need to bring to light here at the annual meeting?
I just want to say how awesome Lisa is.
How awesome Lisa is. I know.
We're going to get you over that thing.
And in my humanness, sometimes I love her for it, and I believe the words came out of my mouth the other day. Well, I guess I didn't know I was marrying Mother Teresa. Now that I know, we just have to go with it.
Yeah.
No, she just has more energy. I don't know if she has all the energy to keep going and going and doing. Simone is the same way.
Yes.
I don't know how you have all the energy to do so much. I have to sit down and rest occasionally. And, I just am amazed at those in our congregation that we have that just keep going and going and doing, and they never say no, and they seemingly are never exhausted with the good stuff that they're doing. So thank you to everyone who makes this ministry run. Thank you for everyone who shows up, whether you're here 100 hours a week or 1 hour a week. Every single one of those minutes counts, and it keeps this ministry going. And we all know what it's done for us. We know why we want it to continue to be there. And so I just encourage everyone to stay involved with volunteering. Remember that board meetings are always open. If we have a closed session, something to talk about, we'll put that at the end and we'll talk about it. You can, even if you don't want to be at a board meeting, if there's a particular something that you think needs to be on our agenda, please share that. You can request that something be on the agenda. And we would love to have you here for the meetings. The financials are always available in the office. It's not a secret.
Yep.
We will answer every question. We will explain everything and the reason behind it, gladly. And I think that's all I have for this annual meeting. If Sue, would you like to pray us out?
Sure.
And again, thank you all for staying. This is, I don't know, this is why I love this ministry so
There's
much.
quite a few on too.
All of you who will stay and listen and add your energy and your heart to everything that's going on here. So I love you all.
Thank you. If the only prayer we ever say is thank you, it will be enough. So we just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the ways that we are so blessed here at Unity of Springfield. We are thankful for every person who walks through these doors, who listens online. We are thankful for everyone who steps up in volunteer service and steps up in leadership. We can feel that this ship has been turning for a while and that we are moving towards the greater vision of who we have come here to be together as Unity of Springfield. And we say yes.
Yes.
And so it is. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Go Chiefs. Have a great rest of your day. Great week.
Turn it on.